So 2 years back, when I graduated from my MBA, completed my B school, and landed a job that allowed me to bring home a lakh a month, plus the variables that would have come along with completing the mandates. So the fixed components plus the variable allowed me to bring home a salary which a mid 20-year-old me would love to have and fund a lifestyle that I always wanted. I was in cloud nine, and fast forward to 2 years now, these are the few things that I want to share about money and how my relationship with money has changed and how I view it now versus how I was viewing it then. So first things first, lifestyle inflation. Now lifestyle inflation is I think, see, if you're someone who's in their 20s or whatever age you are, forget the 20s, if you just started earning now, I don't think lifestyle inflation would happen to you in a way, because your benchmarking would be very different, and maybe lifestyle inflation would happen to you in a much more extreme manner. What that means is, for example, hypothetically, if you're earning 100 rupees today, if you're someone who's already working and has a job, you have 100 rupees today, and let's say you switch a job, so your income increases and now it's 200 rupees. So that the excess, that is the excess 100 that you're getting, mentally and psychologically you tend to think that, oh, okay, now I have more money to do more things and live more experiences that I wanted. So now you would spend that extra 100 rupees in ways to garner more of your other lifestyle, to do things on your list, right? So that is what lifestyle inflation is. So if you were spending money on, let's say, taking one trip a year, now you're like, oh, you know what, I can afford one more trip a year. The lifestyle inflation. So if you're someone who just started earning, lifestyle inflation would hit you like a truck, because you would be tempted to spend, well, on almost all the things that you've always wanted to do. And before you do that, I just want to say, yes, if it's like your first month and you've joined, do treat yourself. But if you're someone who's already earning, like, and if you think lifestyle inflation is a big part of how you view money, not having to always keep up and increasing your wants is one of the ways that you tackle this problem. If you can keep your baseline lifestyle the same while your income increases, the more gap that you have between the way you live and, living a little below your means and how much money comes in, the more the gap, the more money you have to invest and build actual wealth, rather than just keep increasing your expenses and your costs. So that's one thing. Second thing, that if you want to save up on money, this sounds like a very small thing, but trust me, it's not. And someone who's working or has been working for a long time, is commuting. Commuting takes up not just your time, but it also takes up money. And all these the cab companies, they know the amount of inflation that's going on cab fares. When I tell you specifically, like, if you're someone from Mumbai and maybe even Bangalore, I don't know what the scene is in Bangalore is like, but from my place to go to BKC or Powai, where earlier my office used to be, and if I were to take a cab, I was easily and for one way, I was easily giving like 500 and something rupees. So imagine 500 for coming, 500 for going. That's 1,000 rupees a day just for commuting. And if you multiply it by 30, that's 30,000, and then you multiply it by 12 months. So you can imagine the amount of money that is easily flowing out of your pocket if using cabs is the way of commuting that you do. And for the longest time, in fact, up till recently, I was using cab. I'm not saying that I haven't done that. Sometimes, yes, cabs allow you to do, the convenience of just sitting and not having to worry about driving to work. Of cab money that you probably spend is a lot. And finding an alternate way to travel, is, specifically in a metropolitan city like Mumbai, Bangalore, or Delhi, Gurgaon, wherever, is a must. And specifically, see, if you live close by, maybe it's doable, but if it's an everyday thing and it's costing you that much money, it's not a small amount. And that is something you should think about changing if you can, and save up on all the excess that you're actually spending on commuting to go to work that you probably don't even like. Just think about it. Third thing I want to talk about is the concept of hedonic treadmill. Every single time you feel like buying something, so hedonic treadmill is basically that your baseline level of happiness can peak once you buy something new, but after that it just swoops down and you return to the similar baseline level of, I don't know, happiness or content that you were at before. So for example, if you want a new phone or an iPhone, whatever is going on in the market, you get that. You feel that sense of like, oh, happiness, and oh, I've gotten this. These are the new, like, this is my new gadget now, blah, blah, blah. And after very quickly, maybe within a few days or maybe let's say a month, which is too long in my opinion, but that excitement just dies off, and now you return to the same baseline level of happiness. So no matter, even, and this happens with goals too, so even when you do achieve your goals, it's very easy to kind of feel ecstatic, and then you coming back down to the same level. But since we're talking about money, hedonic treadmill is when you, well, again, baseline level of happiness. So the things that you buy for that cheap instant gratification that you get, stop buying that. Another very easy way of just being broke or just not being able to save money in the ways that you would want to is just spending money on, for me specifically, was buying a hell lot of clothing items and makeup. And honestly, you do not need 200 combinations of lip combinations, and I don't know, you don't need to buy everything that you see online, which comes to the point of being chronically online. If you're online and if you're scrolling, you develop this habit of seeing things. And the more you see, the more it runs in your subconscious that, okay, maybe I need this, maybe I need that. You do not need 100 things that you see. It can be anything. The other thing that I want to talk about is subscriptions. A lot of times you just subscribe to, well, I don't know, a lot of OTT platforms, and you don't even see it. See, unless you're very diligently someone who watches a lot of things on a particular platform, you might want to watch it. But realistically speaking, OTT platforms are so bad today that even when you subscribe to them, a lot of shows, like good ones, are not even on there. So like for example, Netflix, it went from having all the best, assortment of shows to not even having like the good ones, and those shows keep leaving every now and then. So it's almost as if like you need to purchase subscriptions to all the OTT platforms to have an entire 360 assortment of things that you want to watch. Subscriptions to random things that you like, see, music apps, I understand, I can't do without music, so that is something I invest in. But other than that, a lot of apps I feel are useless. Running apps is one of them. I'm not talking about running apps being useless. If you're someone who's a runner and you want to track your runs, please by all means do that. But if you're someone who's just starting to get into runs, maybe use free apps like the Nike Run Club or Runner to help you, like, schedule your runs. But do you want to pay a subscription and just run and then leave it? First develop the habit and then purchase the app. Don't do it the other way around. I mean, sometimes I do feel like, yes, an app can help you be on your schedule and help motivate you to actually see, because when you see numbers you feel more motivated to do stuff. But unnecessary subscriptions every month that keep going off from your bank account are a silent killer of your pocket. The grass is not greener on the other side, it's green where you water it. So when you see people doing certain things on your Instagram and you feel the urge to do it, keep in mind that your priorities and the life you're living is very different from them. Or even if it's on a very similar level, your priorities should be different. If your priority is to purchase a car or to buy a house, car again, even though car, yes, is a liability, or you plan on purchasing a house, or you plan on, I don't know, whatever. You need to be focused on that path. If you want to purchase a house or retire by this amount of time, just because the other thing that the other person is doing is very fancy, you cannot seem to be distracted by it in the long run. So water your own grass and put on the horse blinders so you see in your lane, because no matter what you do, it's very easy to get distracted, especially when you see a lot of people around you doing a lot of new things or a very similar set of things. So you also feel like you want to be a part of the bandwagon effect, essentially. Building a contingency fund if you're earning is extremely important. Now, for someone who lives at home, so in terms of whether having a roof over my head and just, well, food and other expenses as well, because I live at home, are taken care of. But if you're someone who is living in, but I still believe, irrespective of whether you live at home or you live on rent in a completely different city, having a contingency fund, let's say if you were to leave your job, see, having money will give you the freedom and the flexibility to do things you want to. If you want to leave your job, you want to start something new, you want to travel for a bit, whatever that might be, or if even if there's a contingency, you need to have a contingency fund for up to 6 to 8 months. So today, if you decide to leave your job or whatever the hell you want to plan on doing, you know that for the next 6 to 8 months you're sorted. The next thing being investing in assets and not liabilities. This is something you've heard everyone say, but what I mean by that is, in my case, I knew that like content is one of the things that I want to, get into and dip my feet into. So instead of, I went ahead and have curated over a period of time the equipment that I need. And I also realized that I would need a laptop which allows me to edit, because my previous laptop was, well, not allowing me to edit and even shoot videos in like 4K. I knew I needed a camera apart from my phone, and don't get me wrong, you can start well recording on your phone. I just needed a separate camera, it makes things easier, and a very good darn laptop that allows me to edit. So for me, these are investments because I know this will help me churn out content and in the long run, help me build my business around it, or just helping me establish my personal brand. So for me, these are assets, and for anyone who's watching this, assets could mean very differently for you. Using convenience apps, quick commerce, yes, I'm talking about quick commerce. Every single time you want to buy something small, you tap the quick commerce app, you get yourself groceries, vegetables, and I am a culprit of that too. And this is an habit that I'm actively trying to get rid of. You don't realize that you can actually just walk down, go to a grocery store or a convenience store nearby, or a kirana shop, whatever, and just buy all of those things in bulk. We all kind of culturally have shifted to such a lax, I don't know, lifestyle where we want everything delivered to us. So it's a very like scary trap to think about it. There was a time where we all used to leave the house and actually go and buy groceries, which used to be a fun experience in itself. And now we are ordering them online, and the quality of the groceries that you get on Blinkit and Zepto are not even that great. You can just go to a wholesale market for food, or you sorry, vegetables and fruits, and you would get a much better quality for a much cheaper price and a very fresh produce. Just want to end this video on a note by saying that whatever you own, the products that are usable, one of the best ways before actually going and buying more stuff is to finish off what you already own, whether it's makeup, whether it's toiletries, whether it's things that you can actually use. Just finish them off. Do not keep buying and while loading more stuff. And apart from the things that you don't think you actually need, you actually write those down, and where the things that you already have, what happened to the culture of using things more than, I don't know, once or multiple times. We seem to get so distracted by the new shiny objects that pops into our feed or anything. Everyone on the internet is trying to sell you something, and that is the mentality that you need to unlearn. The best ways to practice is do a no buy month every now and then. What do you mean by no buy month? A no buy month is what it means. You don't buy anything. It helps you practice restraint. I did that for a month last year in November, and I did not buy anything unless I genuinely needed that, and if it was an emergency situation sort of a thing, then I bought it. It could be anything, but for me specifically, it was mostly shopping related. But yeah, this is literally like a rant, so, and like advice sort of that, and how you can change your relationship with these small things that can actually make a big difference. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.